In a small village on the hill, there lived many happy people. The village had green fields, tall trees, and a river that sang like a bird. But there was one rule in the village: no maiden must go near the dark forest at the edge of the village. The elders warned everyone, if a maiden steps into the forest, she will never return. The villagers believed in this rule and never let their daughters go near the trees. Parents told their children stories of spirits lurking among the shadows, waiting to take away anyone who entered. "The trees have eyes," the old woman would whisper. "They see you before you see them." But one day, a young girl named Lila became curious. She was kind, brave, and loved adventure. What is inside the dark forest, she wondered. Why must we never go there? The questions grew in her mind like vines creeping up an old house. One evening, when the sun was setting and the sky was red like fire, Lila walked to the edge of the forest. The wind whispered in her ear, and the leaves moved like they were alive. She took a deep breath and stepped inside. At first, the forest was quiet. The air smelled damp, and the ground was soft under her feet. Then, she heard soft voices, like girls singing. She followed the sound and saw beautiful maidens in white dresses, dancing under the moonlight. Their hair shone like silver, and their feet never touched the ground. They looked happy, but their eyes were full of sadness. "Who are you?" Lila asked. One of the maidens stepped forward. "We were once villagers like you," she said. "Long ago, we were curious like you and stepped into this forest. But now, we can never leave." Lila's heart pounded. "Why? What keeps you here?" The maiden sighed. "This forest has a guardian, an old spirit who traps young maidens. It makes us dance every night. If we stop, we will turn into trees." Lila looked around. She noticed that many trees had twisted branches, like arms reaching out for help. Some trees had faces, their wooden eyes frozen in silent screams. A cold shiver ran down her back. "I must save you," she said. "No one can," the maiden whispered. "Unless someone finds the heart of the forest and breaks its curse." Lila was brave. She ran deeper into the forest, searching for the heart. The trees whispered, go back," but she did not stop. The ground twisted and shifted, making her stumble. Strange lights flickered in the distance, and shadows moved like living creatures. After what felt like hours, she found a black stone glowing with dark light. It pulsed like a beating heart, and a deep voice echoed from within it. "Leave, child. This is not your battle." But Lila stood firm. "You have taken enough maidens. I will break your curse." She picked up a rock and smashed the dark stone. At once, a loud cry filled the air. The wind howled, the trees shook, and the ground trembled. Ghostly figures rose from the shadows, screaming as they vanished into the sky. Then, everything became quiet. The maidens stopped dancing. Their feet touched the ground for the first time in years. The twisted trees turned into young girls. They were free. The maidens hugged Lila. "You have saved us," they cried. They all ran out of the forest together. The villagers were shocked to see the lost maidens return. Mothers wept, fathers embraced their daughters, and the elders fell to their knees in gratitude. That night, the village celebrated. A great feast was held in Lila's honor. Children sat around her, begging her to tell the story again and again. The once feared forest had changed. The trees stood tall and bright, their leaves shimmering in the sunlight. Birds built their nests, and deer walked without fear. And Lila. She became a legend. Songs were sung about her bravery, and her name was never forgotten in Blackwood Village. Even as the years passed, whenever the wind rustled through the trees, people would say it was the voices of the freed maidens, whispering their thanks to the girl who had saved them all.